Huge update on Shib, guys. We need to get into the negative pricing. Now, hit the like button if you want to receive the next, guys, urgent update. Now, listen, that's the way the algorithm works. We want to talk about the descending triangle. I had discussed that at length. We tried to be bullish about it, but you guys know it would have required a breakout through this level of resistance, which we could not achieve. So, guys, the descending triangle has come into power play. Guys, exactly what I said. The probabilities are essentially, guys, it is a bearish pattern. I don't want to let you guys know that information if you're bullish, unless you're shorting, right? I know a lot of you are shorting, etc. So congrats to all the traders, and make sure you slam into that like button. Follow us up on Twitter at Bitcoin Spike in the Kingdom. Now, in terms of this formation, you may want to know what is the target. We're going to go through that as well as a little bit of news. I want to say, well, lack of news. Let's go news or lack of news. Let's do a review on the news in just a minute in terms of Shib. But guys, the target would be, it's a pretty hefty target. Let's go ahead and measure what the pour down has been already. It's been an impressive move to the downside. If anyone shorted this and caught the top, congratulations. You're in the money big time. 48%, about a 50% retracement. I like that figure. I'm going to tell you right now, because if we go to the macro, let's go ahead and do this on the macro from about ground zero. I'm going to say from zero, essentially. We'll change in the coordinates and go in and literally make it just zero. But I want you guys to understand in terms of the pricing targets. There we go, right there. We're almost at that 50% retracement. You'll see the level that we did hit, and I'd spent some time on this to make sure I found these levels, exactly what's hitting, exactly. Always I say what we're ready to accumulate at 23% of a discount, right from the macro, the all-time high, or wherever we're at, right? We're always ready for orders. That 38.2 would be essentially that next level on the macro, and there's a lot of market confusion, things moving heavily down. Right now, this is just the macro. These are the macro Fibonacci's, okay? The pre-scheduled, pre-targeted, just kind of standard of the industry, guys, standard of the industry in terms of trading your level, excuse me. So that 50% would be on the macro. We would expect, people will be trading at that level. They traded briefly at that 38.2, right, in that area. So we are, we're in a zone. I had let the VIP know yesterday morning. I was like, I don't want you guys to have more than 10% of your portfolio into Shib. Some people go all in, etc. Maybe you're still all in. Maybe it's uncomfortable. I had kind of mitigated that and said, guys, we're in this descending triangle. We're, to me, my thought process, was not to be bearish, but as we're going down towards the bottom of the descending triangle, like maybe mitigate your exposure. I understand everyone wants this to go up to the moon. Everyone wants it to go to whatever price it is, but I don't want people to get hurt. So I had let them know just maybe 10% max in terms of your exposure to it, if that. And I'm sure a lot of you were very cognizant of this this triangulation, descending triangle that we had. I want to talk about one thing real quickly. This Dr. Joe Reed. Do you guys remember this Dr. Joe Reed? He's taken his picture off of it. We have it on film. Very interesting. We have that on tape of his actual picture. He's changed that. But remember, guys, attorney at law, CNN, Wall Street Journal, consultants, right? Remember this, financial advisor, all this stuff. Remember when he said, I don't know if you guys remember when he said, my insider works at Robinhood and was able to sneak a screenshot out for me. It's happening, Shib Army folks. We're ready. We're sure to follow. And what does he say? He says, be sure to follow and invest early. Look at that, guys. He says all this stuff about Shib going on to Robinhood. And includes a screenshot from an attorney, consultant, Wall Street Journal, CNN. Guys, hello. This is a big problem. I think, I don't know, potentially I would want Twitter to look into these things and to make sure that this is really verifiable information, because a lot of people rely on Twitter for that degree of information. I know YouTube does a good job of verifying the information, and we would never put anything that's untrue out on a source like this, a social media source. So the fact that with 10,000 followers and CNN and Wall Street Journal consult, like I don't know. We take it very very much to heart that Dr. Joe Reed, whoever it was part of this melee. I don't know, in the market. Maybe the expectations were too high, or maybe it was misinformation. I hate to say that. Maybe, as official as that all sounds, Wall Street Journal, CNN, I mean, the consultants, etc., with an attorney and a financial advisor, I don't know, guys. That's just, that's a big deal. So to the degree that was speculation, and we just dismiss it as speculation, I suppose that's fine. To the degree it should be vetted, I would look at it more officially, like with Wall Street Journal, news sources, and vetting for Twitter. I would like to look at it as the latter instead of the former, but I understand both arguments. Irrespective of that, guys, we are in a position where we are capitulating in terms of price. So your exposure, I'll just tell you, if you're ready to double and triple down, as we always talk about, if you always have your limited We always talk about never being overexposed at any or higher price, always being able with heavy cash reserves to double and triple down, right? So this is not uncomfortable if they're coming down to your orders. If they're coming down to pick up your orders and you're excited about that, then you're ready for the next pricing cycle, or for it to kick back up, surprise the rest of the market. And that's going to be the deal, or for it to kick back up along a trend line, surprise the rest of the market, and you continue to go on along with Shib, right? That would be not horribly surprising to me. I'll just say it would be a great surprise. It wouldn't be anything in terms of I would not expect it. Now, typically, just in terms of what's expected of the market, pardon me, in terms of this target to the downside, we would measure the amplitude of this triangulation to the downside. We would be looking at something in line with this previous level about in here. Let's just go ahead and measure that up to about the 3691. You guys can measure that with a scalpel. That is as close on the 4 hourly that we can get. You're going to have some variability here, which is going to make this one tough to measure. I'm going to tell you guys it'll be tough to measure because on the different time frames, and it's best expressed by the candle wicks, you'll see different amplitudes in here. You'll see different, there was a lot of chaotic action in terms of the price, a lot of aggressive price action. So if we went by the actual wicks on the sticks, guys, you could be back into this primary zone where it looked like a lot of volume was achieved in that quad at 2995. Guys, I am just excited for the facts, and it does look like you have already picked up on, and we go to these actual macro fib levels on the candles. It does look like we've already picked up on that 50% just ever so briefly. So guys, it's very aggressive. Don't be afraid of the market, but don't ever be overexposed at any higher level. And I'll just say I'm glad that I told absolutely glad I told the VIP, pardon me, guys, in the back yesterday. Just kind of, be prepared. Don't have over 10% of your portfolio. And guys, a lot of them have big portfolios. So in terms of that, and big portfolios in terms of Shib. So you say, well, what would that be? Well, a lot of VIPs have big portfolios that include Shib. So it was a big statement for us to call this correctly and to get through this. And still, I like a higher price target. I think it is cycled. I'm going to say this: it's cycled once, it's cycled again, and I would say at some point, I don't know when, guys, at some point, yeah, you are going to want to make use of, and you've seen this time and time again, absolutely. I think the people who've waited this far, you've seen time and time again that this line is going to want to be touched at some point here in the future. So I don't know at what time. I'm not going to be a genie in a bottle, or I don't want to be a weatherman wrong every other day. I want to talk about the fundamentals of technical analysis, okay, and good strategy in terms of never being overexposed at a higher price. Guys, this is London. Hit those targets. Don't be afraid of the market, but don't be overexposed. Let's see what Shib has left in the tanks for the rest of the year. How about the rest of the week, rest of the month? Let's not forget it. This type of price action, again, on the upside and downside. Guys, it's been a phenomenal run. Remember, 10Xs, okay, they need to cool down sometimes, about 12X, okay? They need to cool down a little bit. So let's let it cool down and let people in the process enjoy accumulating at lower levels. Give them a chance to profit like you did. Guys, it's London with Crypto Kingdom and Bitcoin Spike.